Hi everybody, and welcome to another part of the Web3 tutorials. In this part we're going to get our HTTP provider from Infura website. So all we need to do is to log into the website. Let's click on get started. So the website is infura.io. You can just search for Infura. Infura is enough. And notice that Infura has a built-in Ethereum faucet, so testnet faucet, but lately it doesn't work because I don't know, there might be some problems with their network or anything. There is, you cannot get testnet ETH, but just as I told you earlier in the previous video, you can just get it from the Alchemy faucet. So I'm gonna close these two tabs because we don't need them anymore. And okay, so here you can just enter your own name and your last name. So for example, tutorials, Arashtad tutorials, and this is my email, and we can consider password. Right, and then here you should accept their terms of use and privacy policy and create a free account. So let me save the passwords and we're good to go. So now unable to complete registration, resolve this issue. So there might be a problem with some of the accounts, but once you have an account here, so if you have an account from before, sometimes you might face some troubles once you try to create a new account. And also make sure you haven't created any accounts before, so maybe this is the problem here is because of that. So anyway, if you have an active account, I have another one, I will bring it up to you so that you can just see how it works. And then it will give us a HTTP provider for either testnet or mainnet, and also other networks such as Polygon. Here you can see Optimism, Polygon, and other networks, Ethereum network, they're testnets. So you can get all these HTTP providers for your own Web3 libraries. So now let me just switch to my other account right over here. So here, as you can see, I've logged into my other account. Now here I can create new API key, and this API key gives you some data. You can create your own projects. You can look at their Web3 API product, IPFS, and so on. So let us get into settings, account. Okay, here you can get the Ethereum testnet. Actually, here, this is the place where you can get it. So this is Ethereum testnet. You can just copy and paste here. Notice that it's better to keep your API key, which is this one, somewhere safe, but there's no problem if you give it to other people. But you can every day use this API key a specific number of times. So if that exceeds that number, then you will not be able to get that. So this is the mainnet. You can choose Sepolia or Goerli testnet. So I choose Sepolia. I can copy this address and paste it inside of my code instead of this HTTP provider for Ganache. And from now on, we'll use Web3 with the testnet of Sepolia. Also, if you're working on mainnet, you can choose mainnet from here and go on with it. We have Polygon, Optimism, Arbitrum, and Avalanche, and some of the other networks that might be useful for you to use. But here, we only need Sepolia testnet provider from Infura. So once you do that, you're good to go and you can continue. Notice that you can get your API key somewhere safe. I will tell you later in the tutorials. And the only difference between the mainnet and testnet is this mainnet or Sepolia. So Once you switch to mainnet, you can just change it with mainnet and the rest will be fine. Anyway, we've managed all the different parts related to the testnet. Notice that you also need to learn a little bit of stuff with MetaMask. So as I told you earlier, you need to get the testnet ETH for Sepolia network. So this is the Sepolia ETH. We've got a number of tokens. You can transfer it to your other wallets. So here I prefer to, for example, send it to my other wallet right over here. So in order to do that, I need to copy my address, and notice that the public key of your mainnet is the same as the public key of your testnet, right? So no matter if you copy that one or this one, both of them are the same. So I can copy the address, and here I can click on send. So here I can enter the address related to that. So maybe I need to paste it over here. Oh, it doesn't work. So there might be a way in order to copy that. Notice that there might be some problems in some of the browsers to copy the addresses, but don't worry, there are other ways to access the public key. I've done this before, so there's no need to worry about that. So probably I can just copy the address from here, or I can do something else. I can just go ahead with this one. Here, this is my address. So let me check here. So it starts with A, and this one starts with CA. So let me find the. You can just head over to Etherscan and copy it from there. That's what I mean. So let me go back. And another time, and that is the address. Here we go. So, but most of the time in your browsers, if you're on another operating system or you're in Firefox, there are extensions. You can just try them. So this is Sepolia ETH, and here I can determine the number of Sepolia ETH that I want to transfer. So I choose 0.5, and from here I will transfer it to my other account, which is this one. So now I can click next and then confirm, and after a few seconds you will be able to see that it happens. So right now it's pending. You can just click speed up or wait for it. Now I didn't click on a speed up. If you click on a speed up, it will speed up the transfer, but the gas fee will be much more. But once you wait for it, you will see that the transfer has been completed. And here we have 0.6 Sepolia ETH. And in the other account, if I check again, as you can see, we have from 0.1, we've changed to 0.6 Sepolia ETH. So right now we can continue with this wallet. So I can close this browser and continue with this other wallet. Notice that you can also create different accounts. So you don't necessarily need to have different browsers in order to have different accounts. You can have one MetaMask wallet with one set of mnemonic keys, but you can have a different number of accounts. By clicking add account, you can create another account, and it has its own balances, its own testnets, and so on. Also, something else to notice is that at the first time you install MetaMask and enter, just as I've told you the guidelines in the first video of this course, you will need to show the test networks. You need to check this one. You need to turn it on in order to be able to see the Sepolia testnet, because otherwise you will only be able to see the Ethereum mainnet, right? So once you do that, you can also be good to go. Also, if you want to add other networks that are very much customized, you will need to enter it from your settings, and you'll need to go to networks and add the network of your choice. from here. So there are a number of networks that are built in: Harmony, Phantom, Optimism, Polygon, and Arbitrum, and some of the most famous ones such as Avalanche, BNB, Smart Chain, Binance Smart Chain, and so on. So if you want to add another kind of test network, whatever you want, you just need to here click on add a network manually. Sometimes you might not be seeing these networks, or maybe you do not have an updated version of MetaMask. So all you need to do is to click on add a network manually, and then enter network name, network RPC URL, chain ID, the currency symbol, and other kinds of data such as Block Explorer URL. Block Explorer URL is just like this Sepolia Etherscan or Etherscan itself. So every network might have its own kind of Block Explorer. Also, we have that in Ganache. So in Ganache, we have a Block Explorer. You can click on blocks, and here you can see different specifications of the block, the gas limits, mined on block hash, and so on, transactions. So these networks might have their own Etherscan. So for example, Solana, you can add Solana here. Actually, excuse me, for Solana we have Phantom, but for Polygon you can add the Polygon test network as well. Notice that here we have also got the Polygon test network. So once I go to the settings, networks should have another network. Let me check it again. Settings, networks. So we used to have that other page related to adding the other networks, but anyway, we have the mainnet for Polygon, but we don't have its testnet. So if you found the Polygon testnet block URL, chain ID, and other specifications, you can enter it inside of the instead of the settings, networks, and add a network. So a page will appear in here. As you can see, we've got a Polygon mainnet, but we don't have a testnet, so you can add it manually here. But you need to look for the some of the specifications of that specific network, chain ID, and other stuff, and then you'll be good to go. Block URL is optional, but the currency symbol of that specific network has a symbol for its network. All right, for example, for Polygon we've got a symbol, or for others we have the same thing. So new RPC URL. So for the RPC URL, you need to, for example, get something like the one we got from Infura, or a HTTP provider, and the network name, and so on. So for example, let's go to Sepolia, head over to Sepolia, and close this one. So close this one as well. So for Sepolia, let's take a look at its some of its features. So let me again go to settings, networks, and for Sepolia, as you can see, we are on Sepolia. So it's, the currency symbol is Sepolia ETH. The chain ID is 1115551, and we've got the Infura Sepolia address, but this is different from the one we got for HTTP provider. This is a bit of different kind of thing. You can get it from Alchemy as well. Alchemy also provides the RPC URL for adding to the wallet, and you can just add the network name as well. So that's it for this part of the tutorial. We've learned all about the wallet specifications, wallet settings, and also adding the HTTP provider. In the next part, we're going to try adding the addresses and transfer tokens, also deploy a smart contract in order to create the number of tokens that we want, and also be able to see it on Sepolia Etherscan. So until the next video, goodbye.